favorite to the professional.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
boys.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
There was no sound anywhere. My mic was muted on StreamYard at all. Deep breaths. Sometimes I have the same routine every morning, and StreamYard, good app. Actually, I'm considering checking out OBS. This is another conversation, but actually reminds me as I'm reminded of that. If you've not yet given our newsletter a subscription, would appreciate that now. Go head up top. Head to coffee, head up top, smash the like, repost the bookmark, all that stuff. Head to coffeewithcaptain.com and join that newsletter. Our guy Payne's been working really hard. He's got some great updates coming. Goes out once a week. We don't spam you at all. But if you like this show, you'll like the newsletter, and would love to give our guy some Payne, give our guy Payne some love on this post I'm going to pin up top here in a second, and all his hard work on this newsletter. Looking pretty good from the preview. That's pinned up top now, all the way to the left. The first comment in there is also the direct link. If you don't want to type in coffeewithcaptain.com, just click up top on Payne's post, first comment, you'll see the newsletter. Give that a subscribe. If put your primary email, your secondary email, whatever you'd like, but check that thing out on a weekly basis. We'll greatly appreciate it. Sorry for the audio. I just don't know. Sometimes I guess we'll just get in the habit of checking, but same routine every morning, seemingly at random. Sometimes it'll change the mic input. Sometimes it'll decide to mute my mic after the intro video instead of just going live. My apologies, but going to redo that real quick, and then we'll get rolling here. If you haven't already done so, give us some love on the space, the like, the repost, the bookmarks. All appreciate it. It does warm up the algo. And we have a special guest joining us here at 9. Really excited about that. Love to have a full house in here. I don't doubt we will, because the Spaces reminder link had over 69 likes or reminders this morning. Big for that, and a community running deep and strong. Only thing I can liken it to in 2025 would be the rec community. You all are legends. Looking forward to diving deep. Austin's going to be joining us, actually, I believe, live from Breakpoint, Solana Breakpoint, and excited to attempt to price some alpha. I got a chance. I played around a little bit on the platform. Don't forget, you need to send your, I'm saying this, so I'm reminding myself, you need to send your badges to the burn address, or I shouldn't say the burn address. You need to send your badges to the address that they've asked you to send your badges to. I'm going to go check right now while we're warming things up here. See what this current update on that floor price is. I'm not going to check an update on something else over there on Magic Eden that may or may not be related to 2D Good Vibes Clubs. But if you want to check that that update, you're more than welcome. About 6 hours left. And I think I would, I'd bet all my wallets on that not minting out. But we're not going to go there. We're going to talk about exciting stuff, and one of them being these badges here. Let me get logged in, and I will give you an update on some floor prices. We got to talk a little cold open, though. This is, I miss Steve. I'm not saying it just because of this, but as Von Frunten said in the War Room, of all days to not have Steve on the show, this would be one, like, not exaggerating. We could have a very entertaining 60-minute cold open this morning before our guest joined us, talking about that state up north and Page and all things like crash outs, like an all-time crash out, literally an all-time crash out. So probably not going to go too deep on it, but yes, nevertheless, all-time crash. Memes are at an all-time high on this event. This I don't even know what to call it. If you missed it, the University of Michigan coach was fired. He had a relationship with a staffer, and things are getting pretty wild. I don't think the whole story's been out yet, but got fired, went to his side piece's house and threatened to kill himself, threatened to kill her, and then somehow got arrested in a church because his wife had location on. There's a lot more weird stuff. I know it's not important. My brain is like, well, how in the world did he go from his side piece's house or apartment or whatever, knife to his own throat, threatening to take his own life and kill her, to then a church? It's probably not an important detail. It's of everything that the timeline's talking about. It is like, what happened? This guy, like, having an all-time crash out in the midst of it, found God? I don't know. Like, that's the questions I would like answered. But for another day, we've got a few more minutes of cold open and we'll get rolling. News of the day and trending topics. I see Austin already out there, up and early. So I know I was saying earlier, I believe you're at Solana Breakpoint and planning to kick things off around 9. Let us at least get things warmed up a little bit here. But if you got a hard out or anything, let me know, and we could get you up probably a little sooner this morning if need be. Otherwise, we'll get through news of the day. And this market, I said, it's not even chop. Like, this is just a bipolar market. I don't know a better word for it. It is We missed it yesterday. The Feds did cut rates 25 bips, and majors ran, crypto ran, and then seemingly overnight, Asia sold everything. We're back to, I think, below where we started yesterday. I don't get it. It's weird. I do think there's some merit to 4-year cycles being over. And if that's the case, I still think we bottomed in the 80s, Bitcoin that is. And I think there's a good chance that we actually re-enter a bull in 2026. This is certainly not a bull market, but this, I'm not going to be cheesy and say it's time to, the builders are here, and it was just true. But I also think there's opportunities in markets like this, not just for participation. I think there's also opportunities to, whether it's, I don't want to say NFT mints, because again, we're not going back there, I promise. I feel very strongly, someone said, oh, NFTs are dead. NFTs aren't dead, but low effort marketing is dead. Marketing is dead. Thinking you can mint a large supply collection at a high price point just off vibes or FOMO, that's dead. That's not going to do it. I don't see anyone being successful running back the same playbooks that we've seen in the past. I think where there is going to be opportunity line is the teams, the brands, the chains, the projects that are doing new things, that are experimenting, that are doing novel stuff. A lot of them are going to attempt new things and it's going to fail. That's just that when you attempt something new, when you try to build something novel, if something's not breaking along the way, you're probably not pushing hard enough. I think some of these teams are going to stub their toes. Things aren't going to work right away. But the ones who continue to build, the ones who persevere, inevitably, I do think market turns. Maybe we actually get a Santa rally. I'm not counting on it in December. I felt like we might get it after the rate cut yesterday, and it just didn't play out that way. So, but all that said, I've been a mega ETH bull. They're doing things differently. They're pre-launch. They go, their Frontier chain goes live. Their beta basically with builders goes live next week, I believe. And how they built with those teams is very different from the chains that have come before them. How they did their ICO, very different. I think it kind of kicked off the ICO meta. I think the conversation we're going to have here in a little bit, very different. Like, not just blowing smoke. I'm not just glazing Austin because he's in the audience or going to be our guest today. I've never seen this before. This gives me 21 vibes, not a 25K mint at a 1 to 3 sold price point based on FOMO. That's not the 21 vibes. This is 21, 22 vibes where it's experimenting, it's doing things, it's game theory. It's things like, do you want to burn your Punk's comic first edition for a Founders DAO pass? Do you want to trust us and send your badge to this address? Because we're asking you to do that without telling you the why. Or if you don't trust us, I said I'd give you the floor price update. You can go sell it for 4 Solana. If it's a snake. If it's a moth, you can go sell it for 7 Solana. If it's a bunny, you can go sell it for 17. These are floors, and there's not many listing. Presumably, I'll pin it up top just in case anyone hasn't done this yet. Remind me, I still have to do it on the show. You've got until, I believe, 3 p.m. Eastern today. Again, we'll get into all this. If you have any questions, start loading those in the chat. As always, open stage if anyone would like to join us. We're not going to go too deep right now until we do shift gears, but it is, if you happen to have to head out, if you got something going on, you definitely don't want to miss this if you are participating. And I think that's the other thing that, again, not just blowing smoke, not glazing. Participation matters. Activating your community matters. And as I said, I'm saying it again because I'm not sure if you heard it, but we had, I don't even know what it ended up at. I did look, and it was, before we started the show, it was over 69 reminders for the show. And the reminder link's not something we promote heavily. Most of our regulars tune in without having the reminder. And that's an activated community. That matters. It's, as I said, the only other thing that I can liken it to in the year 2025, I shouldn't just like Board Ape Yacht Club and that community. They're diehards. Like they roll deep, and because I've been close to that community, it's often very supportive. Anytime I put anything out related to the Board Ape Yacht Club, Ape Chain, etc. Outside of that, for ones that I'm not like, would you say like that's not my home base? It's been Rec Guy in that community, Rec Drinks, Rec Brand, and then this reception for today's guest is on that level, especially in 2025. There's a lot of people have left, a lot of people maybe even left, but they're just not nearly as active, not nearly as participatory as they once were. And I think that it's times like these, it's easier to see who has motion, who has attention, who has an activated community. And you could also sometimes see that in the charts. Let me pull up we'll do a quick flyover market update, and where, like I said, majors crashed, not looking good across the board. NFTs down, most tokens are down, majors down, memes down. The one, at least on my watch list, the one token that's actually up is one that's moving differently. Probably connect some dots if you're not new here, but every major, it's funny. I haven't looked at like the Coinbase 50 for a while. Cardano, which for a while we felt was pegged in that 80 cents range, is like 41 cents now. So it's down, it's been cut in half since we were, since it was chopping seemingly in the 80 cent range forever. The winner of the day, though, yes, I'm biased. Yes, I'm a fan. Hold a little sliver of equity and a Rec Guy and some Rec Coin, but where everything else is down, this one's actually showing strength. It's up 4% on the day, 4.29%. On the last week, it's up 20%. Good chart. Now, they did have some cascading liquidations, but it was before this, and they made some big announcements. Big announcements are resonating. They partnered with X Games. They are bringing on institutional buyers, family offices, kind of like I don't know the best way to describe it. I need to wordsmith this better, but think of like an ETF that's not for individuals, rather for these family offices, working with third-party institutions who that's what they do for a living. So you got a team that's really dialed in. They're focusing on what they do best and scaling distribution, scaling their drink business. And now they have an agency, effectively, a fund, a group managing their institutional buyers that are essentially selling rect to family offices and investors. Will it work? I don't know. As far as I know, it's novel. It's new. It's a new team doing something different. So a few other things we'll get into: news of the day, trending topics, etc. Machiavelli, I saw you fly up. GM, what's on your mind this morning?
Oh man, I'm just having a good day. Did you see that the home of the CryptoPunks is opening up in January on the 23rd to the 26th, called Node in Palo Alto? I actually got a ticket for it today.
Oh, that's
this morning.
Cool. I didn't look in it in detail. Do you know the Twitter by chance, the X handle?
Yes, sir. It's a Node FND, and I can pin the. I didn't realize that they said that they were launching it. Node opens up January 20 on November 19th, but it came across my timeline yesterday because of the People exhibit, and then so like I went to go sign up, and I got a ticket instantly. Like I put on all my credentials or whatever, like my Twitter, all that stuff, and then immediately I got a ticket. So I was like, okay, I'm going to that. It's going to be a full weekend of talks, gatherings, and community programming. Book your travel early. Information below. So yeah, Palo Alto, the 23rd to the 25th January.
Nice.
Very excited. Hosted by Larva Labs.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Node Foundation, Node is the group. It's a billionaire, high net worth individual that was the one that acquired Punks from Yuga. And I knew they were planning some in real life activations. I too missed this in when did they send it? November. Yes, opening January 23rd to 25th with 10,000, a major presentation devoted to CryptoPunks by Lyra Labs. Expect a full weekend of talks, gatherings, and community programming. Book travel early, more info to come. Does this, so when it says opened in January, is it like, are they just going to do events? Is it going to be kind of like Beeple's studio where they host for events, or is it a more of like a museum that'll be open?
You know, that's what I'm really curious about. That's why I'm hoping that it's like a consistent thing. And from what I understanding from the individual who started it might be, you know. But nonetheless, like it's just interesting to see it develop this way. Like I said, I had no idea about it, and it came across my timeline because of the Beeple situation. And so when I went and looked into it, I was like, okay, so it's like almost like a little mini convention, you know, celebrating the 10,000 CryptoPunks. And then it should, maybe there's like a Monday through Friday situation there, and after that it stays opened, or maybe if you actually a punk holder, you have access all the time. Like essentially, I feel like it's also like almost like a CryptoPunk clubhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't doubt it'll be like no doubt in my mind this won't be the last event they host there. Whether it's museum-esque and or gallery that's open ongoing, or it's only open for special events. Either way, really cool. And I know we had the V1, V2 punk conversation not too long ago. I'm wondering how. My guess is it's just V2s, but I'm wondering if V1s. I'm curious. Anyone's ever been to the punk brunch? Are V1s included, or is it only V2s? I've never asked the question. I never even thought about this question.
I've never asked that question either. I'm gonna text a couple of my CryptoPunk friends and ask that question.
I'm guessing it's just V2s, but I would be cool. It'd be cool if it is. Maybe like me pull the trigger on a V1. I don't know how to explain this. I think my head probably needs examined. B-Check sent out the post this morning that Terra Luna is up another like 40%. It's up like 180% in the week. We're not serious people. It's like not good signs when things like that are pumping. I'm doing the same thing. I'm not buying Terra Luna. But for the first time, I'm in not one, not two, but I'm in 3 meme coin trades. I haven't been in a single meme coin trade for months. And I'm simultaneously in 3 right now. And I can't share tickers because they're all below $1 million market cap. One of them is below a $50,000 market cap. I can't remember last time I was in, I don't know if ever. It might be the lowest market cap I've ever entered a meme coin. About 1 million tokens a day. Centered around some viral moment we were talking about in the cold open. Do not join us for financial advice. I'm certainly not a financial advisor, certainly not your financial advisor. These memes will go to zero. Please don't put any money in you can't afford to lose. Know that I will hold tokens up top. I'm holding these tokens, but I'm not going to talk about them because they are absolutely going to zero. It's just a matter of how quickly they go. And if there's any sort of pump or attention today based on something that'll be probably all over the timeline. But I share that not because of my meme coin bags. I don't really care. I share because it's just a really odd time in the market. Majors chopping, kind of wants me kind of wanting to get back in the perp game and open up some shorts. I just could also wouldn't be surprised if we run up another 4 or 5%. I don't know. It doesn't make the I'm not a conspiracy. I am a conspiracy theorist, actually, or enjoy conspiracy theories. It does feel manipulated. It just like I think there very well could be some merit in whether it's institutions, whether it's some funds, whether it's the perp exchanges. I don't know who's driving it, who's pulling the buttons. I just can't remember charts in the 5 years I've been here ever looking like this. This price action is crazy. I saw someone say it was mimicking 2018 price action. That was before I was active in the space. I don't know if there's a funky or anyone out there that can confirm or deny that. Anyone that was in the trenches in 2018, if you can, I've never seen anything like this. It's very confusing. I'm certainly not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I also just don't know. I don't know. I have no confidence in how to play the market. My conviction long term hasn't changed, especially in the things I believe in. I just in the short term, I have no, and honestly, I don't think anyone does. I don't think anyone knows exactly what's going to happen from a price action standpoint. I think it's an extremely volatile moment, and I guess that's the one thing I'm probably convinced of is things are going to be volatile for a while. I do think we could get an actual, bull run in 26, where it's actually not just a couple days or 6 hours of market stripping, but actually sustained pumps. I just don't know what it's going to be that ignites it. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be that instills confidence to hold, instills confidence to.
I hope that it's some kind of like Digital Asset Clarity Act. I hope that it's something that forms around there, or some type of legislation goes through that's going to give clarity on what we're doing over here, that's going to allow the market to go ahead and continue. Because these little fake, I don't know if they're just like, I feel like they're giving, like they give hope and then they pull it right back out. Like whoever's controlling the liquidity is doing a really good job right now of pumping and then directly pulling out and pumping, and then like, it's just really weird the way the chop's been going, especially the past few weeks.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's merit in what you say. I'm not getting bearish on the administration, the government stuff, not necessarily the institutions. I don't know. I can't explain it. It just doesn't feel good, because everything that this administration has done so far should show better results in terms of price action. In TradFi, the S&P 500, gold, everything else is like pretty much up and to the right, whereas it's not been. Yes, there's been moments this year. There's been some opportunities to book wins. It's probably been, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. And it's not over. Like, we'll see how the next 20 days go. I'm going to guess it's probably, well, from a P&L standpoint, I think I have to guess. I'm pretty sure it's been my worst year since 21 as far as crypto P&L. And even the wins that have been booked, and I've certainly booked wins, they've just been, even those have felt like the wins have went to zero. I don't know why this one popped in my head, but like, if you guys remember back when Boop launched, I had like a $35,000 airdrop claim when it announced, but it had to vest for 30 days. By the time it vested, it was $3,500. I'm not poo-pooing $3,500. I'll take it. But
Boop was the creator platform where you could launch your own token, right?
Yeah.
And then if you launch your own token, okay, all right, I'm just making sure, because all right,
there's just no launch pad, and it's like that was like my point. I guess what I'm trying to get out is, even sometimes some of the wins have been booked. Like people who hit on the Trump trade in January, they booked a win, but that's been down since. Like there's the wins where you pretty much had to book your wins early. I guess you could say something like hype is still, even though it's down from its highs. I think it made it touch 60, so it's way down from its highs. But if you got that airdrop, if you were early to hype, like that's a win, and you can't dispute the success that Hyperliquid has had. I mean, it is still trading at a fully diluted value of $27 billion. It's a $27 token, and the platform, it continues to print revenue. Like it's in all of crypto, it's the 13th ranked token. And it, for all intents and purposes, I think they did start last year, but for all intents and purposes, I think TG was earlier this year. Someone check me if I'm off on that. But in my brain, Hyperliquid is the winner of 2026. And it's down.
I would agree.
It's down 21% in the last week. So my kind of my overarching point, it's down 32% in the last month. Is even the winners this year, if you kept DCAing, if you kept top blasting, if you kept going back, there's people who, I'm sure there's people who got a Hyperliquid airdrop and somehow still are down on their bag. I also think probably a lot of people that got that hyperliquid airdrop have probably also taken some L's on the perp side. It's just, I still think there's contagion from October 10th that we really don't know about yet. I could be off on that. It's just been a really weird year. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. We being authentic and transparent here. Even the wins have been not great. Like, of the wins, the only thing I've talked to my in real life friend group about is hyperliquid. There's really been nothing else.
October 10th was also right around the 1,050 days that we had been in the cycle since the halving or whatever, since, like, you know what I mean, that we were supposed to, like, pass the halving, and then, like, each Bitcoin cycle usually runs about 1,000 whatever days they said. And I believe that the date that they had set was like October 15th. And the fact that, like, on October 10th, we just had this, like, whatever happened, what Black Swan event, whatever you want to call it, you know, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just in line with what the analysts were already kind of calling.
Yeah, I just disagree because I think traditional cycles are dead. I don't know that. That's just I don't think the 4-year cycle is a thing anymore. I'm very open to being wrong. We'll find out over the next couple of years here, but I don't think October 10th and the corresponding fallout had anything to do with the 4-year cycle, but that's, I could be wrong. Joey, GM, what brought you up this morning?
GM, you were kind of reminiscing on some things, and I was thinking, man, do I miss the days of where December people would dump NFTs for tax loss harvesting, and then you could pick them up, and then as soon as January hit, you could, like, 2x your money on those NFTs because people were tax loss harvesting in December and then wanting to get back into them. Those were the good days, man. Where did those days go?
I don't know. I really, I guess to the same point, like, I think the narratives of past, the 4-year cycles, the Santa rally, the sell in May and go away, I don't know if any of that stuff, and maybe it never did. Maybe it was just coincidental. I don't think any of that stuff holds anymore. I just don't. I think that when we entered this institutional world and we started getting ETFs, we started getting, like, the net new buyer, it's TradFi, it's not us. There's no retail coming back into crypto. There's no retail buying the 4-year cycle, I don't think. Now, might the institutions be? Maybe, but I don't know. I think those narratives are dead. I'm open to being wrong. It's not something I'm trading on, I'll say that. Poppy, GM, always a pleasure, sir. What brought you up today?
Good morning. You know, I told you I'm going to try to be here
Appreciate
as much as I can, driving my son to school. So got him in the car and now I'm here. No, I was listening to the combo though. And look, I've been around trading since 2015. And when in the trading markets, it's a sport, right? It's very competitive. And so I look at this the same way that, you know, we look at professional sports, right? Hockey, football, baseball. The game is evolving, and any competitive game continuously evolves because film, right? Data, stats, and human beings' ability to adapt. So in baseball, if you study it, they're constantly, like, changing the balls because people are hitting the ball too hard, too far, too many home runs, not enough home runs, you know, changing extra innings because the games are too long, want to shorten the game. And then you have the players that know, like, hey, I can't hit a fastball up and in, and everybody's exploiting that weakness. So I'm going to spend all off season trying to hit up and in fastballs to get better. That is what's happening in this overall, especially the crypto market, because the people who are here for sport, and Joey gave, like, the prime example of this, right? The people who are here for sport try to study the patterns and the human behaviors and then make that adaptation to win. to get that W, right? And we know that, well, now a lot of these patterns have changed, right? We know that, if every single person is like, okay, cool. If every single person is like, hey, I can't wait till December because everybody's going to dump their NFTs and we're going to flip them, the advantage is kind of gone because now everybody's trying to play that same game, and the supply is dried up. I play in my buddy and I, back in high school, we used to play in a competitive Madden league, very competitive, pay to play, draft. And then we played in a very competitive MLB The Show league. And this year he came to visit me for the summer. And he goes, bro, you should get back in the league. And I said, what? That's still going on? He's like, oh, yeah, bro. 15 years I've been playing in there. I'm like, what? So he's like, just be my co. You can play a couple games a week. Because I do like playing MLB The Show. Sometimes you need to detach. And I'm playing in that league. And the first season, all these people could sell their free agents and make money, or sell their players before the deadline and make money, as opposed to trading. And this year, nobody's selling them. And everybody's like, what the heck? Like they were banking on that strategy, but the strategy changed. Patterns change, markets change. So when we start to become very accustomed to, a certain pattern in a chart, if we start to become accustomed to like a 4-year cycle, if we start to become accustomed to, this dip is always going to go back, eventually somebody more skilled is going to out-gamify us, outplay the game. And so I just think crypto right now is going through a bit of like a cool down cycle. And I think I've talked about this on here. I've definitely talked about it. We do Quirky's Talking Business chats every week, and I've definitely talked about it on there. But I think that even though the administration has put a lot in play for crypto to succeed, they put a lot in play, and it feels like they've done more for crypto than more. You're all done? Okay, buddy. Thank you. It also feels like real estate is still stuck. Interest rates are still stuck. Taxes are super high. Like the economy to me still seems frozen. Yeah, there's some melting going on, but the block of ice is like one that you put in an old fashioned. It's slowly melting. We're not water yet. And until we're water and real estate starts to really move across the entire country, because it's only moving in certain markets, still dead in others, until interest rates can finally crack, I don't think we're going to see a big explosion, because people look at crypto still as either a store of value, which means they have their money in Coinbase and they're just letting it sit there, or they look at it as a gamble and maybe they're playing some meme coin games. My last point too is that I think meme coin season, and I felt this in my bones when we were begging for it. I really did. I was like, I don't think this ends well. But I think meme coin season was extraction season. I think that so many of the quote unquote retail people that were begging to come just got absolutely smoked. And I know for me, I mean, luckily I'm, doing well. I've done well. But I know that I am never going to touch another meme coin because I just have bad luck. It's like when I go to the casino, I know I'm not going to win, so I cap myself at like $500 or $1,000 just to have fun. I expect to lose. I'm not even touching memes. I'm not. I'm not interested anymore because I'm tired of losing money that way. If I'm going to invest in crypto, it's going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Ethereum, and it's going to be honestly into Quirkies. And that's like the only comfortable place that I feel like I can put my money. Even my old ape is listed at 6 ETH right now, and somebody hit me up, yo, go buy your ape. Honestly, I thought about it. I slept on it. I'm like, I just don't want to put it. I'd just rather put it somewhere else. So I think just people are changing a little bit. I don't think that's a bad thing. Every market does need a cool down period. It's not up forever. It's not October every year. It's not, you know, up December Christmas run every year. Patterns change. And right when you think a pattern is going to be guaranteed to happen is probably when it's going to break. That is probably the time you'll never see that pattern occur again because everybody is looking for that pattern. So I'm listen, I'm still optimistic because there's so many people building good quality things that, like, I don't think the BZ team is going to quit. I don't think some of these layer 2 blockchains are going to quit. I don't think some of these L1s are going to quit. I don't think the Ethereum team is going to quit. So like if you look at the broader perspective, Coinbase, you know, my friend's son just became a major player at Tether. They're deploying like $100 billion into the development of blockchain. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we are in a time where I don't think you can really predict the markets or expect the markets to move the way that we were accustomed to maybe the first year or two.
I agree. I also think I don't know if it's just going to be. I think for what we are mostly looking for here in terms of sustained pumps, sustained momentum, sustained like an actual bull market that lasts more than a couple of days or a couple of hours, and it's not just select tokens, but yet everything's seemingly going up. I don't know if we've had that. I do think, yes, patterns change. I agree. I still think it's going to take something more than patterns or cycle or timing. I really truly believe there's got to had to be some sort of catalyst that brings in active participants, more liquidity. Like there's something missing from the space. I think combination of memes. Yes, I don't disagree. A lot of people got wrecked. Bob says it was extracted. I extracted poor souls during meme season. I just played the game, but I agree. Memes are dead. I will disclaimer. I'm in 3 meme trades now. It's gambling. Like this is not investing. Investing would be DCA into majors right now. I'm just gambling to feel something with some dust I had in a Solana hot wallet. And that's also as I reflect on this year. While I said I've certainly booked some wins. It's been, and I don't know this for a fact. I'll finalize things at the end of the year here and actually look at a P&L. But I'm without even looking, I'm near certain it's been my least profitable year in crypto, even with wins. And part of it, I'm to blame. My entire professional life, my entire adult life, I've been in games of skill. I've chased asymmetrical gains. Some call gambling. Yes, there is a gamble component. There's a luck component. But my entire professional career, really up to this year, I've chased those asymmetrical gains by hunting positive expected value. I'm an EV hunter, and it's treated me well, whether it's been DFS or poker or best ball. I just checked I got 140 best ball teams through on Underdog. Unfortunately, my nosebleed stakes, the $100, $250 drafts, none of those made it. I bubbled out on a couple, pretty disappointing. But I got 140 lineups through, and the majority of them were the more niche contests. I said this all offseason. I went really hard this last year on the pre-draft best ball with a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty. But the reason I did that, because I was dialed into the draft. I was dialed into the prospects, and I thought I had an edge. And turns out I did. Just like right now, my focus in the hunting EV and chasing asymmetrical gains will be in playoff best ball, because I understand the format. It's niche. It's not as easy as regular season-long best ball, where yes, there is luck involved. You got to run good, but the goal is to put yourself in position to be lucky and run pure at the end. And again, everywhere I've had success in the world of predictive analytics or games of skill, or if you want to call it gambling, it's been spots where I get it in the pot in a plus EV spot, or at least I believe I'm plus EV. I'm sure it's not always been the case. And hey, you can get it in plus EV and still lose. And some of those, your L is a 0. Like it's a binary outcome. You win or you lose. And this year, as I reflect on 2025, I stopped chasing EV and I started chasing trends. I started chasing the next meta, the dopamine. Like I wasn't finding EV and I wasn't finding plus EV in memes or in perps, but it was fun. I was having some wins, but at the end of the day, I didn't have any edge. I didn't. I'm just being honest with myself. I'm not an expert perp trader. I've had some wins, but I've also I'm down. Like after October 10th, I'm down bad on my perp game. It happens. But I think as I look back, it's like, okay, it's okay to gamble if you don't feel your plus EV. It's not okay to invest in spots you don't know what you're doing or you don't feel you have an edge. And so I think the difference there is how much of your liquid capital you're willing to throw at some things. And back to these three meme trades, man, it's just gambling. I don't have an edge. They were three things that caught my attention, and I threw a little bit of dust at them to think like, okay, maybe something runs. But the difference is something running now is like, can it get it to $1 million market cap? This time last year, it was daily runners in the tens of millions, like 100 million was happening for a while. We are so far off from that now. It's just not even close. Go ahead and get back in here.
Crime season ended. All those people got caught after the Argentina thing.
So funny you say that because
we're still criming. I'll add you to the chat, Joey.
Bob just adds, his real runs came from the Trump trade, caught Zcash at sub 200, and then got torched on some others. I quit when I saw Hayden and the team extracted the Libra trade. That probably was like people often refer to Trump as the end of the cycle or the end of the meme game. I think it probably was the beginning of the end. I think the Libra trade was the end. I think that was because those people that maybe were playing in that arena and they might have thought, oh yeah, some of this stuff is manipulated. I don't think many of us, I didn't understand the scale of manipulation. When you're talking,
I would say Melania probably started it. Like Trump was way up at 80 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Melania
the
launched.
CEO resigned.
I that's one and the same though. I like Melania, Trump. It's the same thing, same team. It was yes. Was it? Did Melania start the unwinding of Trump? Yes, but I think that the Trump token was the event. Melania was part of that event, and the whole Libra thing. When you have an entire nation, a leader of a nation involved in a scandal of this size, and then to come out, it wasn't just Hayden, but to your point, others that were it was messy, and it really, I think, soured a lot of people. Probably drove a lot of people out of the space. It's not like, oh, I lost $100,000 on Libra, and so I'm out. They don't. A lot of people aren't announcing that. You might have some, coin confessions or crypto confessions or whatever, but I think a lot of people probably took their balls and went home. And it's not like they took their ball and went home and left the meme trading game or the meme casino. They left. And, we could probably spend the next hour talking about other things that went sideways this year that led to sell-offs in NFTs or majors. It's bigger than any one thing. And that's what I like. It's easy to look at hindsight and find, okay, these were negative catalysts that sent things down and crush momentum. What's really hard to identify is what's going to be the positive catalyst, what's going to send things the other direction. And I don't know. I don't even have a guess. For a while, it was like, oh, it's going to be the regulation that's going to be in cryptos. I just don't think it does it. Will it help more Bitcoin buyers from institutions? Will it help stable coins? Yeah. I don't think it's going to lead to anyone new coming in to buy NFTs or memes. I think where we're at is the remaining group that's here. I think I might have been early on the call for consolidation. Yes, there's been some consolidation this year, but it's mostly led to still things trending down. I think that we could see more brands, tokens, like actually go to zero, and the cause of them going to zero is their supporters, their holders, etc., losing faith and rotating into teams that they believe in, into teams that are doing something new, whether it's G-Boy or Rect or someone that's actually building something, someone that's building something that's more than just speculation. You know, for a while there was the revenue meta, and while that's important, like a lot of stuff was just overvalued. I still think like people will give Rect a hard time. It's the winner of the year. Yes, Hyperliquid is the winner from a business standpoint thus far. From a brand coin and from what they've done over the past year, and the not just what they've done, not just price action. I think you have a meme coin that's at $163 million valuation. It's up 50% on the year, when I don't know if there's anything up 50% on the year that's meaningful. Maybe Zcash. Why this is exciting to me, it's not the chart. It's they've built a deeper bond, a deeper emotional connection with their core supporters, with their holders. Did some get caught in the cascading liquidations a few weeks back? Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of those people aren't leaving. They're going to be along for the ride. And so if what Rect is doing, if they continue on their trajectory next year, that could get exciting. But it's not going to until Rect really breaks out. And I still do think there's a possibility of bringing in new entrepreneurs and builders wanting to build crypto native brands. I think it's going to take a massive unicorn to draw that sort of attention. And that's still a long pull. It's not going to happen overnight. We'll go back to Joey here in a second. A few other news items I want to hit on before we bring in our guest. One, the Bored Ape Yacht Club Essentials Collection went live. Always on store for merch. If you're interested in picking up some merch, you now can.
The member stuff went quick, Cap. Like the big sizes, all that. Like I'm talking about went quick. By the time I realized what was going on and went on there, they were already gone.
There's a few limited edition posters. I don't know if they come framed or not. I haven't bought anything yet. I don't think I'm going to. I have the OG hoodie. I'm not a zipper hoodie. I mean, I get what they did here. I like it. Not knocking I think throwing back to the OG hoodie, but making it different with the zipper is a good play. It's just I'm not a zipper hoodie person, and these other ones just not for me. It's fine. I'm glad the site's on. I just the first run of stuff here, I have virtually zero interest in adding any things to my already oversupplied wardrobe. But it's live, and shout out the team for shipping something they've talked about for a while, and good to see that out there. And then the other thing, we may have a guest on at some point in the future. I'm gonna go back there just because we were talking memes. Apparently it was a accident, but a literal billionaire, I think he's worth about $26 billion, launched a meme coin the other day. It's not the meme that is we're talking about, but this Boxable is a booming business. It's apparently this person's been in crypto for a while. I don't know how I don't know the.
Yo, he has been. I know who you're talking about. He has been in crypto for a while. He launched a meme coin.
I don't know how the accident happened. I don't know the backstory. I just know that he the other night claims inadvertently launched a meme coin. It's created some buzz, and so he started talking about it. Shout out to Crocs who put me in contact, and we'll try to get him on here on the show. Not really to talk about his meme, but just talk about Boxable. It's the future of housing. Elon just bought one. They just did a big deal, I think, with Tesla or SpaceX. And again, extremely successful individual. It's not going to be the meme, but what gives me hope is you have successful individuals building real businesses that are not even adjacent. They got at least 1 foot in crypto. This person isn't looking to make money off their meme coin. I don't think they don't need it at all, but rather, I don't know what could come of this. I think of my guy Warp Joe, who's doing some really cool RWA stuff that's I can't speak of yet, but stay tuned. If you've been around Coffee with Captain, you've heard Joe's big brain talk on here. Building multiple things that are, we talk so often about how can we use blockchain technology to move things forward? And we have seen some of that this year. From it's good setup to go back to Joey. You've got like what Beezy's doing in the collectible space. It's better than their counterparts that are off chain. It's just better. It opens up things. It enables things that they can't do off chain. Just like some of the stuff Joe is doing in the RWA space. Warp Joe, this is. It's moving industries forward. Stuff's going to take time. It's not going to trade like a meme coin. But I think there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be, I think, investment opportunities that might be longer time frames. Like the days of taking a swing on something in crypto and it 100xing in a day or a night or a week or a month. I don't know I don't see any short-term catalyst for that. But I have a lot of excitement, a lot of confidence and conviction that we'll see. And I'm not saying it's going to be Boxable, which is a public traded company. I'm not saying they're going to all of a sudden start deploying these things as RWAs on chain. I'm not saying that. But when you have founders, CEOs of companies like this, that they're here, they're on crypto Twitter, they're not in the space, but they're in the space. We're like 1 degree away from some dots connecting to something happening to where others start paying attention. I think that's what I'm looking for is what's the next catalyst that's going to bring not just institutions, but new, not retail for exit liquidity, new users, new active participants. I think that's the biggest problem with NFTs, with memes, with those of us here is the reality is there's just less active participants today than there was in January. There's far less today than there was in 21, 22. And I don't know what catalyst is going to bring more people that want to learn about this, that want to build here. I other than like a Rect becomes a unicorn, or the Boxable CEO starts talking about this cool new RWA thing that they're doing that they think is revolutionizing their future of housing. Joey, go ahead, and then we'll probably start to shift gears here soon.
Yeah, you actually just kind of led right into my question, which was like, what we all believe and hope and say Bitcoin's going to go to 250, 500, a million. Like, with what you're saying right now, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for more retail? What is it going to take for more onboarding? What is it going to take for Bitcoin and ETH to continue to go up? Like, is it more retail centric companies? Like for example, my dad, I tried to get him into the Mega ETH pre-sale, and it was a really annoying process, like walking him through it on like Google Meet. We got him in. He ended up not making, not being one of the people chosen. So then he got it was refunded back to him. But the whole process was, and this is not against Mega ETH, this is just the blockchain and crypto as a whole right now, was very clunky, was annoying, multiple websites, wallets, this and blah, blah, blah. Right. So like quickly, because obviously you have a guest coming, what is it going to take? What is going to send Bitcoin to 250 to 500? What is going to get more retail here?
I don't think anything in the short term, just being candid. I just don't think, I mean, maybe there is, I don't know.
Like, do we just need to bury the technology completely? Is that the answer, right? Is like completely bury blockchain and crypto into these retail centric. And I'll be honest, that's what we're trying to do at BZ, right? Like, we're trying to make it so you don't even know you're operating on the blockchain. You can sign in with an email, you can pay with a credit card or Apple Pay. And it's not because we're anti-blockchain or crypto, right? Like, we just understand that it's a big roadblock. But is the answer to just completely like bury the technology in whatever you're building and never talk about it so more people are interested? To your point about like the Luna thing, people see that and they're like, what is this space, a joke? So like, what is that the answer? Is we need to just kind of not make it the thing, but make it like some underlying thing?
So maybe that's what I thought, but now not really concerned, but it's like, yeah, we bury the tech, we hide the tech, we obfuscate it all. It's great. We put all prices in USD, all that. Okay. While that's good for onboarding the retail user, the non-crypto user, I think what we lose in going that route, and this is the way it's heading, it just is what it is, but I think what the downside of that, or what we lose, is the tech's hidden so well, they don't even know they're on chain. They don't know it's crypto in some of these things, some of these cases. It's their new version of their Robinhood or their Coinbase. And I
mean, that's why my dad uses Robinhood, if I'm being honest.
Right.
It's really simple.
Right. Which is good. But then at the same time, what got me here was, yes, Top Shot was very retail friendly. I could use single sign-on or log in with my email and pay with USD if I wanted. But then what really got me into crypto was I started paying attention. And then I heard something like Zed Run. And I truly believe this. I think why I'm so deep in crypto today, why I went down the rabbit hole, is because to play Zed Run, I had to learn about crypto. I had to understand what the hell Ethereum was, how Polygon related to Ethereum. What is an L2? I had no idea what an L2 was. I had no clue. And I don't know if it wasn't for Zed Run on Polygon and in the nightmare of a bridge back then, and having to go through all that and experience those pain points that forced me to learn the tech and gain a deeper understanding and dive in the rabbit hole. I think that's partially what got me here, is because I did have to put in my 10,000 hours to learn this space. And once you hide all the tech, once you take all that stuff away, we might not onboard those active participants. They may just be siloed in whatever cool app, whether it's Robinhood, Coinbase, OpenSea, whatever it may be, whatever app they find, Breezy. Like, there could be a physical card collector. I'm not taking shots at anyone. And this is also just kind of this thoughts coming to me in real time here, so I could very well be wrong. It's like there's a world where a card collector finds Breezy and they don't take the next step into becoming an active crypto participant. They just are collecting on Breezy, and now instead of having their cards in their house, their cards are just stored in a vault. And that's probably what you guys want. You have done a great job.
Is that a bad thing though? Like, is it like so for example, like credit cards. When credit cards first came out, did people need to understand like how credit card processing and credit cards worked? Or do they just know that when they swipe their credit card, the money came out of or debit cards, right? The money just came out of their account, right? So like, is it a bad thing that somebody doesn't want to learn all of the intricacies like you did?
No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing for most. I'm just saying the reality. I think it's good. I think that's the way it should be. I think that's the path forward. That's how we're going to onboard the masses. I'm just saying, because the tech has gotten so good, and you can, for all intents and purposes, you can hide the crypto rails. There's just not that natural progression. When most of us that are here, if we found this space in 21, 22, you had to progress. It wasn't an option. If you wanted to mint NFTs, you had to learn more about, shoot, man, at one point in the mania, you had to learn how to mint on contract if you wanted to actually mint something for a minute. Like, there was a time and place where you had to understand how to read Etherscan. No new user in 25, 26 should have to know how to use Etherscan to do anything in this space. And I'm not saying that's a problem. That's a good thing. But I'm also saying it's kind of an inhibitor to getting more active participants, to getting more people to jump down the crypto rabbit hole and really immerse themselves in this space. How do we find more of us? How do we, like, I'm not a crypto OG. I found this space in 21 and I jumped down this rabbit hole because I had to. And I'm grateful I did it. It changed my life. How can we open someone else's eyes who maybe just wired just like us, they just haven't seen it yet? And I guess my concern that's kind of coming to me in real time this morning is like, how do we get them to see it if we're hiding all this stuff? I don't know. Let's do this. I see Austin's on stage. By the way, I saw you in the green room. If you want to come back, we'll get you up on here. Totally up to you. No obligation to go video. We can go audio only. Either way is perfect. I'm going to change the title here in a second. I'm going to go refill my coffee. Quick stream drop so I don't have to interrupt our guests. Poppy, I'm going to hand it to you. I'll be right back in like 30 to 60 seconds. If I'm not back, Joey or Machiavelli, take it from Poppy, and then I'll introduce our guest here in about a minute. Everyone who's here to hear our special guest, stay tuned. We'll get right to that momentarily.
Yeah, I won't take up much time. We're transitioning over. What's good, Austin? Good to see you. And I took me a minute to see the PFP and be like, oh my God, that's Austin. But I was looking into what you guys are doing the last few days, and like just everything is really well done. So anyway, tip of the cap as always. A lot of respect. Yeah, Cap. The reason why I raised my hand again is because I was at Basel couple days ago, and there was one of my friends, so my wife's best friend and her boyfriend came to the event to support, and we're just sitting there hanging out. There was basketball tournament going and a bunch of things, and he says, yeah, so how are NFTs now? I said, oh, it's market's pretty rough, some of them are doing well, the smaller ones, just kind of. And he said, man, the only NFT that I've ever bought was top something basketball. I'm like, oh, yeah, Top Shot. He's like, oh yeah, bro. Like, I loved it. I bought some rare something or other. And it made me remember what was like the true catalyst to getting even me excited about NFTs. And it wasn't Top Shot. I didn't see Top Shot the same way that I saw Zed Run. One of my fraternity brothers hit me up. He's like, dude, explain this whole Zed Run thing. I ended up throwing like 15 ETH at it. I was like, cool, I'll give you ETH to go build and like put together our stable, and you could breed horses and you manage it, and we'll split the profit. And it was just that initial momentum. These are like real life relatable things that like Top Shot, Zed Run, a Sandbox, Decentraland, that is what drew people into the space because they were excited. People were buying VR masks. That part is gone. So now I do wonder, what that next big catalyst is. So anyway, I just wanted to say I double tapped that because I think those were huge onboarding events.
Yeah, they were. And go ahead.
No, I just was checking to make sure you were back, so there was no dead space, but you're back.
All good. Yeah, all good takes. And maybe, I mean, on the other side of this, Bob also has a good point. Number go up will bring the people back. It could be as simple as that. Market structure bill brings people back.
But that's the question. What makes number go up at this point?
Market structure bill, institutions just keep buying more. If you believe in the conspiracy theorists that this chop has been manipulated by these big institutions and they're just wiping out the leverage, at some point, they're going to have their bags packed and they're going to stop selling the pumps. They're going to stop dumping when all the longs get lit up. Like, if you believe that, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but there are people who believe that all the big buys and selling are like, there's days where almost all longs and shorts have been wiped out in the same 24-hour period. That's crazy. And it's hard to believe that happens.
Didn't we get into crypto though to get away from the institutional like manipulation? And now that's what we're hoping for, is that like they or am I wrong?
I don't think we're hoping for that. I'm just saying like that's what it's become. And if that's what it's become, like I think like then what makes number go up is the institutions exit this quarter of the game, this chapter of the game that they're in. If that is true, I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying if that is true, and the charts are being manipulated by the institutions to wipe out leverage and pack their bags at a discount, at some point the bags are packed and they just become net buyers instead of sellers. I don't understand. Like, I'm not the one to say it. I don't even know where to begin to find out if that's actually what's happening or not. And probably no one does, except for the people that are doing it, if that is what's taking place. I do want to move on here. We got our special guest who's been super patient. So let's do this. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor. Head up top, smash the like, the repost, scroll all the way to the right, hit the like, the repost on the space. We've got an incredible community, incredible guest today joining us all the way from, I believe, Breakpoint Solana, and really excited to dive into this thing. But before we start jumping into all things Neuko and G-Boy and sending your arguably the best performing NFT badge or NFT period over the last several months to a wallet without really knowing why. Before we jump into all that, Austin, GM, sir, appreciate you being here. I know you're a busy guy. You've been in and out a little bit today. Before we jump into all things Neuko, any thoughts or comments on this morning's conversation? Do you have any thoughts on what might bring new active participants into crypto?
I mean, first and foremost, thank you guys for having me. I was surprised that you didn't talk more about Sharon Moore at the top of the call. And then I saw Steve join, so I thought that would be the entire cold open. No, I mean, I think for us, it's like, can you create 10x better experiences? And I think you're seeing within crypto, when it's not 10x better, you see Farcaster pivoting to being a wallet because they couldn't make social 10x better than what exists already on X. People aren't going to switch over. And so can you make engaging experiences that allow people to have fun, that allow them to make money, that allow them to get laid? Like, that's really it. That's the Nikita quote. Can you do these things for people, and can you do it 10x better than what they're already doing? So that's my take.
Getting laid as a utility?
It could be. I don't know how we do it in crypto, but it could be. I don't know that we need an on-chain.
I get laid every day because I'm a
Mac, your mic's out. You're gonna have to take a lap.
He said he gets laid every day because he's a bored ape. That's I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
It's speaking of Steve, yes, if Steve was here, this isn't an exaggeration. We would have had a full 60-minute cold open this morning on a coach who's having a bad day.
That's the cap I know. That's the cap I expected. I was surprised to not see that energy.
It's a new reform cap. I'm because Steve was the one who kept me in check, right? Like, Steve was the one who he was the more business, like, if we're a mullet, like, Steve was the business up front, I'm the party in the back. And he's the consummate professional. He'll correct me when I mispronounce things. And so now I'm consciously keeping myself in check and knowing that if I wasn't consciously doing this, it would have been, we'd probably spend not 60 minutes. I might have spent the next hour talking to you, not about Neuko and G-Boy, but Sharon Moore. And I know that's not what you're here for. I mean, you might be here for that, but I don't think everyone tuning in to hear you today is overly curious about Sharon Moore. And if you are, just search the name and you'll like, again, I'm not even joking. Like, if this was a year ago, we would have $100 million runner today on a meme coin on this. This is the memes, not the meme coins. The memes are peaking. It's an all-time high. Real last question or last comment, and then we will get to a more serious topic here with Austin. Steve in the chat did say, had a conversation with someone this weekend who said, bad UI UX is bullish because that's where the opportunity exists. I think staying close to the bleeding edge of tech, we'll still see those things and opportunities, see Hyperliquid, but you need to be ready and willing. I think it's a great take. And I'm not saying it's mega ETH because I'm bullish. I'm not saying it's Neuko because Austin's here. I also, not making this up, Austin said bringing fun back. I had the title changed. I just didn't hit done before he made that statement. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing from my perspective is it is new. It is novel. Do they have a platform and a business? We could already see a path to revenue, at least an idea of at least one of their revenue streams to build a real sustainable business. But at the same time, I don't think people are excited because, oh, this is another crypto native that's building a real sustainable business. I think they're excited because it's novel. They're doing things differently. They're having fun again. And did a lot of people come to this space, and whether it was 21 or 22 or 23, to make money? Yeah, we're lying to ourselves if we didn't. Number go up will bring people back. But you know what else brings people in? Fun. People are looking for fun. People are looking for connection. We had a lot of fun in 21, 22. There's a lot of people that came in, didn't make any money, but they had a lot of fun and they stuck around. And I think it matters. So that said, without further ado, Austin, GM, do you want to start? Like, I'm assuming most people here have at least seen Neuko on the timeline. It's hard, unless they've not been on X, it's hard not to have seen it. You've really, I think you're even nominated for the most viral campaign of, or maybe won the most viral campaign of 2025. So first of all, congratulations on all the early success. It's impossible not to notice. But if someone's just really hearing about it for the first time today, can we start maybe like high level? What is Neuko? And before we start diving into some specifics, what do people need to know? What should they know about Neuko and what you're all building?
Yeah, no, great to be here. Appreciate all the love and support. See a lot of red hoods in the crowd. So thanks everyone. I know it could be early in a lot of your time zones, so appreciate it. Yeah, so Neuko, for us, we're building the creator operating system for the next generation of entertainment franchises, and G-Boy is our flagship IP through the tech that we're building. At a high level, you know, we're all entertainment executives and we've been in crypto for a good amount of time. We've seen as content creation has been really commoditized and sped up dramatically through the use of AI. We watch from our seat in the space as things that would take entire teams of animators and illustrators weeks of time to create. We were watching a single technical individual be able to create in an afternoon. And so when we decided to create Neuko, it was with the belief that in the future, an idea guy that had good taste and quality and a vision would be able to create the next billion-dollar entertainment franchise with a creative studio in their pocket. And so we set out to figure out what would be the tools that they would need in order to make that a reality. And in doing so, we decided that we would launch an IP in G-Boy as a way for us to really figure out, as a creator ourselves, what are those tools that you're going to need? And so we dog food all of our own products. We release them out to the community so that they can co-create alongside us. And then at the end of the day, we're just trying to build shit that we as community members always wanted. You know, we had a laundry list of ways that we would want to build an IP, that we would want to be treated as a community and be supported and really get to build something alongside people and just have fun on the timeline again. And so I think that's been a lot of the early energy that we've been focused on.
Well, it's working. You got to give credit where it's due. And I'm not talking just floor price, but you talk about momentum and the excitement and activating the community. Like what we're seeing happen with Neuko and G-Boy is I'm not even gonna say early 2020s. It's early Bored Ape Yacht Club vibes. I know some of you are gonna cringe when I say that. If you were around, there was something very special that was not related to the floor price. It was not related to number go up. It was, we were having fun and we were meeting people. You were connecting. It felt different. You know, like Steve said, it's at the bleeding edge of tech and, you know, this, and now it's this intersection of tech, blockchain tech and AI. And it's people want, I mean, not everyone, some people are nerds. Some people are very tech centric. They're futurists. They want to be, but there's also people that don't consider themselves like a technist, or I don't even know what the proper word is there. They're not technically savvy, but they like community. They like having fun. And I said it earlier, I don't know if you caught it or not, like the only other community that I felt has activated a community like Neuko has in 2025 would be Rect. And Rect's been around since 21. They just, that's a diehard community. They've got a lot of loyalists. They got a lot of brand ambassadors. And while they did launch Rect Drinks end of last year and that brand, and so they, you know, the brand coin, they've got some new stuff. They've been around for a long time. And again, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not glazing you because they're on the stage. I can't think of another. Well, I can. There's been one other one. Good Vibes Club. Good Vibes Club is the only other community I can think of in 2025 that has activated a community that's having fun, that's enjoying connecting with each other. That now, has Good Vibes Club had success as their number went up? Yeah, it's had a, you know, it's minted for 0.069. I think it's about 0.5 now. I don't think the community is a buzz because their NFT is worth, a couple $1,000s. It's what the team is doing. It's what the community is doing. And it's a very, very, very short list. And while I'm excited to talk specifics about what you're building and the tech is cool, I'm going to quote Von Brunton real quick in the chat yesterday, said, finally started messing around with the Neuko AI model, possibly one of the best I've used. Yes, it's limited to the G-Boy character, but very minimal prompting, give me what I want, good tech. So you have something of substance. It's not just vibes. It's not just community or culture. I said it yesterday, that's not enough. NFTs aren't dying. Crypto's not dying. What's dying is low effort stuff. What's dying is low effort marketing, vibes, community as core products. Are those important to a community? Yeah, but it's not a core product. I know some people will dispute that. So, the community is the core product. Okay, good luck. How's that working out for some others who thought they could mint out large collections at premium price points based on community and FOMO and buys? It doesn't. That's dead. You have to build a sustainable business in this space and evolve quickly. But I still think at the core of the crypto natives, it is those things. It is the fun. It is the community. And again, just much respect. We've been very fortunate here to have, founders, leaders on this stage often that are pushing the space forward. And I've used that term. I probably need to change out, like bringing the space back is maybe more appropriate than pushing. Yes, it's pushing it forward, but bringing back some things to get excited about. That's not just number go up. And I'm excited to play the game. I'm in my badge to this address here before 3:00 this afternoon and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's a token going to be at some point. I don't know if there's going to be another NFT and I don't need to know, because I don't feel I'm being directed to do that because of FOMO. I can recognize there's something different here about this community. And it's also, I know that the team, the leaders have business acumen. You've got crypto Web3 experience. I do have a question. I just got a kind of somewhat of a hard pivot here, but I've got this, the image I got put up on the screen reminded me it's the landing page, but this box. I said I had the question yesterday and I said I'd ask you today. Was this always in the works, or was this you recognized, okay, blind boxes are, it's a meta right now. People are maybe, hey, when are we going to get a G-Boy physical? And we should capitalize on this. We should launch a blind box. Did this evolve as you were building and you saw whether it was Moonbirds or Quag or one of the others, or was this from day one? You're like, okay, part of our launch plan is we're going to do a blind box. If you're willing to share.
Yeah, no, I'm willing to share. I mean, collectibles have been part of our strategy since day one, especially just getting the early feedback from the community that we're looking for these type of collectibles in our ecosystem. We started developing the vinyl within the first couple months of existence and starting to obviously with the lead times and the molds and the samples and everything, it's a bit of a lead. Obviously, we saw Moonbirds go, we saw Fwog go, and we did make some slight adjustments to the distribution strategy. One is that we added more types of rarity. So originally when we were going to launch it, it was just going to be the single OG colorway. And then realizing obviously the space that we're in, people wanting to be able to open these experiences, we worked with our manufacturer to come with different colorways and special colorways. It's something that people seemed really excited about. So that was a key point. And then the other one is we wanted to launch it at a time where it made sense within our attribution engine and ecosystem. So we had just launched a leaderboard where 3 pillars are creating, collecting, and earning. Creating, collecting, and connecting. Creating is people going on to gboyspecial.com and creating content. Connecting is them going to the timeline and talking about G-Boy and Neuko overall, and also sharing that content. And then collecting, really the only thing that you could collect up to that point was the badges, which people had gotten for free just by being early and following along. And so this was another opportunity for them to collect and go up the leaderboard. So we did want to be able to lean into that for our community as well, that we're looking for other ways to participate. So I would be lying if I said I wasn't completely blown away by the response, and incredibly grateful for it. We've got a few surprises on the way for people because of that, which has been really exciting. And then, we also wanted to pay it forward. And so 100, we ended up buying 100 boxes from the royalties that we had gotten from the G-Boy badges and gave those to people that were on the leaderboard. So yeah, that's kind of, hopefully that gave a good overview of how we thought about it.
Very good. Appreciate that. And do you mind, I want to rewind for those that haven't been following along or just hearing about Neuko for the first time today. You gave away these badges and then there was a second phase. Can you talk about that for a second? Like, what did you, those who got some badges, what did you ask them to do or tell them to do?
Yeah, so we individually reached out and DM'd every single person in the first 1,000 that followed the Neuko account. I have long nights at the office in Columbus with the guys, just going one by one, making sure we hit everyone. We gave them access to our meme depot, which up until the last couple weeks, we had never shared publicly. It's now the fastest growing meme depot, faster than Pudgy, faster than Goblin Town, which has been just insane to see the response. For the people that we then asked them for their wallet addresses, those that got back to us, we airdropped them either a rabbit if they were within the first 200 or a moth if they were in the next phase. Those same individuals were then given snake badges, which were our third tier, with the intention of decentralizing our community. So obviously we have 10 eyes, as Squinch likes to say, between the 5 of us, and they have thousands, allowing them to determine who should be the next people that come in. And so it was really heartwarming to see. A lot of people would put up, there was a full nomination process. People would jump on spaces and make their case. It was a little bit of almost like the Oscars or something, where it was like an award show where people were selecting who they were going to nominate. And a lot of people made some great lasting relationships through that as well. And then some people didn't send it, and some people sold it or they held on to it. And like we mentioned at the beginning, we're always watching. And so those same individuals were blocked from the season 1 of the G-Boy leaderboard. So we really do honor participation and people who want to have fun on the timeline. And we're about trying to give that value back to them.
I think it's, again, I know this could come across as glazing. I'm not. I'd say it if you weren't on the stage. I think it's the best curation of a community that I can think of. We saw I think of and this is probably someone going to dunk on me for this one, but I think of the Ute list and that approach. Before that we had, there was a period where you had to do Discord calisthenics, and then there was a period where you had to do a Alphabot or a I can't remember the name. There was one that was the early leader in allow list, whitelist. I can't. The name of it's slipping me my brain. Bradley.
Are they gonna WAP?
What was it?
I know there's WAP was one.
No.
WHOP.
No, someone will shout it out in the chat. I want to say Bradley or Bentley or they had a pass, and it's not relevant. But you had to. Anyways, there's been a lot of different, we'll say, I guess, metas to curate a community or build an allow list, or how do you determine who can get in the phase 1 or the phase 2 or pre-mint. And maybe we've seen others where it's nominate someone else. These mechanics, these gamified mechanics, is, I think it's the best we've seen. And I got in because Von Frunten sent me a snake badge. Grateful for that. And I think the other thing that it's done, and I'm not sure if this was an intended consequence or it's the culture you've built. So I'm going to share something now. Not only did I get gifted a badge yesterday, I got gifted a box. I didn't ask for a box. The person who gave me the box, I don't even think they even said, I don't know why I did this. They didn't do it with any expectation. I'm going to give them a shout out right now. And I put a post up top. I'd love you all to go give Digital Assets post. I pinned up top some love. And Digital Asset, if you're out there and there's something else you'd like us to give some love, it's the least I can do to return the favor. Digital Asset sent me a box yesterday for free. I didn't ask for it. He didn't ask for anything in return. He just said, I just want to pay it forward. Maybe that happens if it wasn't for the culture you created with your... I got chills just thinking about this because this is something special, man. This way, talk about new things, experimenting, novel stuff, bringing the fun back. Community was an overused buzzword, just like rugs and extraction are used too frequently in this space. Culture and community they're abused. They're used too often, and oftentimes it's not real. It's a faux community. It's a faux community until mint, and then half that community is dumping into weak bids. What I'm seeing here is a real community. Digital asset doesn't gift me a $100 box. Doesn't do that if not for something real being built here. Again, zero expectation. He just said, I just wanted to pay it forward. I haven't felt that. And this isn't like, I'm not trying to inspire anyone or encourage anyone to start giving stuff away, but just an organic gift because digital asset is excited about what you're building and wanted to pay it forward and get me more excited. Like, you not only do you have someone like digital asset who's locked in the community, by default, I'm locked in your community now. I'm not going to sell my badge. I'm going to send it to this address today. I'm not going to sell my box because they were gifts. And not only that, like, I'm going to continue to support this community because you got kind people. So I don't know. I don't know if you've heard of this, if you've heard others like gifting their boxes or paying it forward. I'm guessing that wasn't part of the plan for asking them to give away their badges. But did you expect that happening? Have you heard this? Have you seen others doing this? Like, do you view that as special as I do when you're talking, something special brewing in the community?
I mean, it's the most special thing happening in the community is just how much people care for one another and are making like lifelong friendships. It does remind me, I know you talk about like the WAGME 2021 era of before people focusing on floor price. It was like you made friends that, we still have to this day. I mean, shit, we met back in like 21, me and you and Steve and a bunch of people in this space now. Whereas like you were building beyond your identity, you were building a sense of belonging. And I think we were trying to be very intentional with cultivating the right types of people early on. And there's only so much that you can do. Like, yes, we could have done like an application Ute style process, but eventually like people will have the ability to exit and other people will come in. And what is important is like, can you not only lead from the front with the intentions that you think are valuable to kind of like uphold, but can you find those like leaders within your community who kind of like set the tone for everyone else? And we've been really blessed from the very beginning that we've been welcomed with open arms by the like broader Solana community, by Ethereum people that came over and wanted to be a part of this as well. And have really like, they do the community spaces. They've created a Neuko wiki for people. Anytime they see that someone's bought a badge, like they're welcoming them in and they're adding them to the group chats. Like it's all the like positive energy that kind of radiates from the like tight knit that was there at the beginning, and they're bringing people into it. So yeah, it's incredibly special. It's really like a battery in our back that like keeps us going. When we've got these late nights here, making sure we've got everything so that we can deliver back to the community. So it's special. I don't take it for granted because I've seen it not be that, and so it is very a fortunate place to be, and we want to cultivate that as much as we can.
It is special. I can feel it. I mean, it's not to use the cheesy analogies or liken it back, but this is real. You can't fake this. Culture, community does start at the top, start to the beginning. I absolutely think that we are going to see others launch in maybe December, if not 2026, and they're going to attempt to deploy similar mechanics that you've done in terms of how you've curated the community and asking them to onboard some friends. Like, I think we'll see others that will attempt to replicate what you've done. It's working. But it's that the mechanics by themselves aren't going to create community or culture. It really does start at the top. It's more than just mechanics. But I do greatly appreciate the thought and the intent that's went into doing things differently. That's what I've been beating the drum for months now, is like the same old stuff that worked in 2020 and 2022. It's just played out. It's not going to get people excited. People are going to FOMO into things. They want to see things differently. Start with less is more. There's not as many active participants. So start with 1,000, grow from there. Like, forget 10,000. That I'm going to talk to 25,000. This can and will bring other people into the space when they find out about it, because that component of fun and community, it's not fake. It's not fake because they just want a free mint. You're really seeing an activated community that's enjoying each other. The ability, like, I can't wait to. I have no idea who Digital Asset is. Never met before, as far as I know. Can't wait to meet him in real life event, hopefully someday. Give him a big hug. Him or her, I don't even know. Give them a hug and thank them. Like, I genuinely appreciate it. It's not the $100 box. Like, yes, I do appreciate the $100 box, but it's the thought. And by please don't. This is not some passive way for me to ask for people to give me stuff. I don't need anything. I'm not asking for anything. I truly want to recognize Digital Asset, and more so this culture and this community. Once y'all realize this is special, this is not happening in any other community that I know of in 2025. It's because I not just what they're doing in the techniques and the tech, which is all exciting. We'll get to that, but how they're moving. They're getting, again, most viral campaign of 2025. They're getting attention. I still think they're not getting quite the attention and credit they deserve, myself included. I said I was late to this. The other thing I did want to say before I forget, how they did it is very real. It was the first 1,000 people. There was no KOL hookups. There was no influencers. How do I know? Because I DM'd Austin and I got to know, hey man, sorry, we've already got our 1,000, but stay attention or pay attention. There's going to be more stuff on the come. I did not get a moth or a rabbit. I wasn't in the first 1,000, and I didn't get hooked up because I host a show. There's been other collections that I got hooked up with a free min or some goodies because they believe or think I'll talk about them positively. I respected it more that I got told no, and then had to get brought in by, you know how much more it means to me that I'm in this Neuko community now because I got gifted a badge from Von Frunten and I got gifted a box from Digital Asset. That's 1,000x more meaningful than had I been the first, than I gotten hooked up because I host a show or went and bought my own. And it's not that I'm looking for handouts. This isn't happening often or any other place that I know of. So again, big kudos, big salute, greatly appreciated for bringing back, no pun intended, and not to call it another, but bringing back some good vibes and some fun. I do want to read out some chats and then we'll get to Joey. And I'm sure there's a lot more on the technical side we want to talk about. I also see OG Good Media in the YouTube chat with some questions as well. But I just want to relay some things from Abstract that's popping off. Teach Katie says, brings back 21 vibes. On the community, they are all working together with each other to help with the puzzles. They are constantly sharing. There are members who have saved badges that were scammed. Plus, the team is in the chat with the members and are constantly engaging with the community. Jambert adds, yeah, it's great. They are engaged. He also adds, I'll buy you lunch and a coffee cap. Jambert, it's my treat. When we ever meet up, coffee's on me. Teacher Katie adds, it's creating connections organically. And I think that is the biggest, like, the product, the tech, it's all important. What's most exciting to me is how this is happening organically because they've created something fun and novel and they've gamified this entire process. So again, well done. I just wanted to share that. And the first question, then we'll go to Joey here. But I was going to ask why Solana. OG Good Media asked why Soulflare and Jupiter. Any one of those partners, or maybe start with Solana. Why Solana? And then any if you want to answer the Soulflare and Jupiter questions as well.
Yeah, Soulflare and Jupiter are not announced partners. We've spoken with both, but yeah, no additional response to that. On the why Solana, a few reasons, but I think at the end of the day, for us, it felt like there was an energy here that was kind of like waiting for someone to come and build. And, how do we launch on ETH? Obviously, like, there are the legacy collections, there are very entrenched communities, and those exist on Solana, but it really felt like you'd seen a lot of projects either come to Solana late to launch a token after they'd already launched a collection, or they migrated away from Solana and they would try to launch on a new chain. And so there was a lot of energy here just from going to all the different Solana events over the years, having launched a Do token and spent a lot of time in this ecosystem. It felt like there was a gap in the market that we had an opportunity to kind of lead from the front. And then in addition to that, just the overwhelming support of the Solana Foundation. We've had them as partners from the very beginning. I've been fortunate to build a relationship with a lot of their executive team over the years. Like they take a really vested interest from the top down in focusing on growing IP. Like they take what we do seriously. They really act as like extensions of our team. And open up a lot of doors that we wouldn't otherwise have. And so I hold that in extremely high regard. Like these are relationships and, a community that we want to be able to build cumulatively over time. And so like we could have gone and chased a check on another chain. We could have gone to like where the current meta was, but we really felt like Solana has proved itself in the deepest of the bear to where it is today. I'm literally looking out at the Etihad Arena right now. They're having the biggest breakpoint they've ever had with 7,000 people here. Like they're set up for success, and they're setting us up for success. So that's why I will say, like, and we've kind of always had this approach. We are broadly chain agnostic in like the long run. I think that there are other experiences that may warrant being on other chains and ecosystems. I think account abstraction is getting better and better every single day. You look at the success of something like FOMO right now, the trading app where like you can buy any token on any chain, and you speak about like adoption, like that's a big thing. And so I do think that there will make sense for opportunities in other ecosystems, but we're really excited and committed to like building here with the Solana community.
I love it. Great answer. And I noticed, they're getting the support from the Solana Foundation, from the Solana account. I hadn't really thought about the opportunity for a new leader on Solana. And this is like, I love the Clanosaurus team. They're an OG Solana project. To your point, they've also expanded on another chain. You've got, I think, like Mad Lads still there doing their thing. But I'm not going to go back and relitigate. We spent a fair amount of time earlier this week talking about Solana and the NFT ecosystem, and it's very evident that there is not a lot of motion, and it's not Solana's fault. It's just many, I feel, to your point, they are the OG collections, and they're still doing their thing. Others might have looked at Solana as a secondary collection, or hey, let's go capitalize on the meme casino on Solana. This is feels very different, and hearing you talk through that, I think very wise. Like, yeah, you went and, especially with the momentum that you have now, could you went and got a big check from another chain? Probably. But at the end of the day, capturing if this plays out and you become one of, if not the lead crypto native community on Solana, that's massive. Like and this isn't a shot. It's like, that's probably not going to happen on ETH mainnet. Like it's unrealistic to jump CryptoPunks or Pudgies or Bored Ape Yacht. Could you on a floor price up? Sure. I think you're probably not going to, like, there's a world, there's in the range of outcomes is you establish a massive, like the preeminent brand in crypto native community on Solana, because it's again, not a shot at Clanos. They're doing some incredible things. There's a real opportunity here. I salute for recognizing it, and getting that support from them is massive. Like there's not too many bigger partners you could look at to give you that kind of support and backing out of the gate. And clearly the early results are, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. I'm going to ask some questions, Austin, and I'm not trying to I actually am trying to price some alpha, but I fully respect if you're not able or willing or want to answer some of these questions yet. But today I'm going to go post it so people, if they haven't seen it yet, make sure they take that action, or I might already have it up top. If you have a badge, yes, please read carefully, turn in your badges to the address pinned up top. You have till 3 p.m. Eastern today to do that. Please note, once you send your badges, you will lose access to the holder Telegram for the time being. This is a feature, not a bug. You have 48 hours. First question is, what do you mean by that? What is it a feature by not having access to the Telegram?
Yeah, so it's a few fold. I'm happy to answer that one. We were very intentional about like starting small, going wide, then going small again, and then going wide again. Okay. And I can kind of like break down each of those pieces and why it matters. So we started, and we were very intentional about reaching out to the first 1,000 people and helping it grow organically inside out. And then all of the energy, because we didn't have a Telegram or a Discord, stayed on socials. And I think that was actually a big part of our early success, is that people were like, what the fuck is Neuko? And they were taking it to the timeline to try to connect with one another. We then made a very conscious decision when the badges were fully out that we did want to have a space for the G-Boy community to, off the timeline, be able to connect with one another, be able to make relationships, and also for us to be able to share early alpha announcements before they went live. I would drop some of my articles in there before they went live. And so that, feeling that feeling of alpha and connectedness was important. Now, as we move into this next phase, obviously we've announced that a token is coming this month. It's really important, again, that we get loud. And that we take the conversation back to the timeline. And so as people are turning in, then if they want to talk about the brand, it's being done on X. And we're seeing the direct result of that. We've seen our mind share quadruple in the past week. Obviously, we've had some pretty big posts that lean into that. But it's very calculated on our end of trying to really grab the megaphone back. And for us, attention is very spiky. We're not trying to consistently command attention. That's really, really, really hard to do. What we are trying to do is do very focused sprints when we need the focus on us. And this is one of those times.
Dude, I'm super impressed. Again, it probably sounds like I'm glazing or blowing smoke. The moves you're making with intent and calculated, it's impressive, man. It's not just doing new things. It's the thought you put into this. It's very obvious that you've been around the space. It's very obvious that you've got that crypto native pulse. You've been in the trenches. You've seen some things that have worked. You've seen something that haven't worked. But I think what's so exciting to me, what's so most impressive, is most of the stuff we haven't seen done before. It's not maybe you could say bits and pieces or components, but almost everything that you've done it's got some new twist. It's got some new. It's like you understand the InfoFi game, you understand the mindshare game, but you're going about it a completely different way than most other people who are attempting to get mindshare on this app. And hearing you say it seems obvious. Oh, I get it now. They wanted people out of their Telegram, so they're back communicating on the timeline to get more mindshare, but it didn't hit me right away. It was like, why I was asking because it was a genuine question. Why are you kicking people out of Telegram that are there? And it's deducing that they'll be back at some point, whether it's Telegram or another, closed community chat. But to send everyone back to the timeline to create that buzz and to reignite that buzz and excitement is smart, man. It's just really well done. And it's while these, I don't want to downplay them by calling them tactics, but these moves, I know there's a lot other stuff you probably really want to talk about from the tech and all that you're really building. And while that is important, the product is important. For sustainability, you got to have something that matters, something that's sticky, something that hopefully can generate some revenue and build a sustainable business. But I truly believe in the beginning, you got to have the greatest product in the world. If you don't have any distribution, if you don't have anyone talking about it, you're DOA. You got to do new things to get the word out there. And this is, this is seemingly, it's looking like a master's class. So really well done. And yeah, I appreciate you sharing. What? Joey, go ahead and get in with your question. Then I have another one after this.
Yeah, Mike, I'm sure this is something you might ask too, but I guess my question is, what is the future of, because G-Boy is obviously the quote unquote IP and Neuko is the company. So is the plan long-term to license what you guys have built, to give other people the opportunity to create their own characters like you did with G-Boy? Is this just the first step in that? What does the future look like?
Great question.
Yeah, and hey, Joey, and I've appreciated all your feedback throughout the process. So good chatting on the stage finally. I want to be a little careful in that we've been very clear from the jump that we're not a roadmap company. We're not going to lay out a 5-year plan of what we're trying to build. I think a lot of the energy that we've been able to gather is because we are equal parts proactive and intentional, but reactive to the community as well, and being able to integrate them in what we're doing. I will say, I mentioned at the jump, the goal is that Neuko is that creator operating system for the next generation of entertainment franchises. G-Boy is the number one priority in that number one entertainment franchise. And so how we think about growing beyond G-Boy is something that will be very thoughtfully done. We have a lot of time to be thinking about that. And our first priority is to make sure that G-Boy is a success and that we're pouring all of our energy in it. The reason we launched it in this way is that as creators ourselves, every tool that we build for G-Boy, we are now allowing to be used, within the broader like Neuko platform overall in the long run. And so how we decide to open that up is something that we're still having a lot of conversations about. We've been fortunate to get a lot of inbound from creators who want to be like creating their own models and with their own characters. We've had conversations with studios about wanting to use these types of products. And so we just want to like measure twice and cut once. There's a lot of different directions. If you're asking me from like a strategy perspective, I would much rather, first and foremost, like make sure that we continue to capitalize on the G-Boy momentum and grow this into the brand that it deserves to be. But then simultaneously, we're exploring opportunities that are very selected rather than like opening up the floodgates to everyone. So hopefully that gives a little bit more color.
So essentially your focus right now is building G-Boy, continuing to build the tech, proliferating the brand, and then beyond that, there really isn't, like, who knows, right? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but beyond that, you'll see what kind of comes across your plate.
Yeah, I would say there is a plan, and like we have different models that we are looking at in terms of like what this operating system looks like beyond G-Boy, but the timing of it, how it will actually be executed, that's very much like a wait and see. I would say we're not at our MVP for this like operating system that I keep talking about, and until we kind of get to that point in building the tech alongside building the IP with G-Boy, it's very much like fact finding, having conversations, speaking to creators at all different levels as we're continuing to think through that.
So if you're not at your MVP right now, where do you feel like you guys are at in the stage of developing, whether it's Neuko or G-Boy?
I mean, we're in the early innings. I would say we're in the beta release of gboyspecial.com. Right now, it allows you to just do image generation on our own fine-tuned model. Obviously, expanding beyond that, people have really enjoyed the videos that we've done, the ability to add audio. There's a lot of a feature set that I think would make it well-rounded. If I just think about the user experience of creating content in 2025 going into 2026, it is the ability to create in multimedia. And until like we kind of have that fully fleshed out, I would say we're still like in beta releases.
And that makes sense. And then last question, Cap, I'm sorry. So with that being said,
I want to start by thanking you all for being here.
Is there, do you guys feel like, or now hearing that for me as a consumer, if you guys are still so early, can I anticipate that the token is coming before you even get to that next MVP future phase? Or is the token going to wait until there's something more? If you could even talk about it.
Yeah, I'm happy you asked that question because I can talk about it in the sense of like there is a delineation between Neuko, which is effectively like an infrastructure platform, and G-Boy, which is an IP and a brand. And I would say in terms of what we've been able to deliver with G-Boy, we're much further along in our IP journey than a lot of others have been when they've launched tokens, whether that be fungible or non-fungible. And so when people are thinking about the token coming live, it is very much a representation of brand G-Boy and not the infrastructure of Neuko.
Great question, Joe. I appreciate you asking. And I may, again, if any of these we ask, feel free to just say no comment. I'm not sure, but I'm curious. We know tokens coming. Actually, I'm gonna quote Von Frutton here in the chat. He says, "Walk us through the vision. It started with a character, then you launched a badge, then you launched the tech. Now you're launching the token. Where does it go from here?"
Yeah, we talk a lot about wanting to create the world's smallest IP. I think everyone has gotten up on these stages and talk about how they're competing with Disney and they're going to take on Netflix and they're going to have these animated movies and et cetera. And what we've been left with is a lot of empty promises. Some have been able to deliver more than others, but I don't think anyone has realized that grand vision. I know there's a lot of reasons to do that. I know it helps galvanize a community to like a single point of vision of where you're trying to go, even if it's going to take you decades to get there. We have been focused on creating the world's smallest IP. And what that looks like for us is building, for that 1,000 true fans, experiences and moments that allow them to continue to connect and grow with one another. And so while everyone has been really focused on outside in of like Web 2 adoption, partnerships, major tentpoles, can't believe I just said tentpole, put that in the jar. But what we're really focused on is inside out. Can we grow from the community that we have here today to continue to grow through CT and crypto overall and create experiences that they want to have for themselves? Not because they think someone else is going to come and buy their ads, not because they think themselves want to get online, they want to connect with people, they want to have gamified experiences with one another. And we talk about building like the internet's puzzle MMO, which is a lot of like what we've been doing. Oh, did I lose you guys for a second?
We got you.
I'm reconnecting.
You're back. We got you. Lost you for a brief second, but you're good.
Oh.
You're good.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good. We got you. Unless it's still connecting on your end. Check
what
one.
Just happened?
We can hear you okay. I'm not sure. May still be
it happened a couple of times. Yeah. It happened once or twice earlier, then it just happened again. But it was really brief.
Wi-Fi?
It's going back and forth a couple times, so I didn't lose it.
I just lost it.
Yeah, we can hear you okay. You're still good on our end, unless you need to maybe take a lap. I don't know. He was having some Wi-Fi issues, so why couldn't join us on video today. He's going to do a quick lap. We'll be right back with us. While we're waiting on Austin, and actually, I'm going to wait till I give these shout outs till he can get back on. I would like him to see him as well. But if anyone else has any other questions for Austin or the team, feel free to drop those in the chat. I'm doing my best to make sure I get through all of them. If I've missed one that I haven't got to yet, tag me, and I will. I'll double check. I'll get right back to it, and we'll do our best to get all these answered. We're keeping him probably a little longer than he had committed today, and I know he's got a big day ahead of him. But Austin, quick mic check. I think we got you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I literally just lost. Can you hear me? I just lost Wi-Fi and got it back.
All good. I was saying there was a couple of shout outs I wanted to share once we got you back up here, but just kind of expanding on what I was talking about earlier. Like this is, I'm just going to read them. Mr. Harris says, just to comment on this, been here since 21, and Neuko is the most immersive, well-run, and interesting art project I've ever seen, followed or been a holder of. Not just Web3, everything from comms to the puzzles to the community, against the backdrop of really interesting story and addictive IP. It's the equivalent of a murder mystery weekend, a choose your own adventure book, and an RPG video game all rolled into one. Then Degen Figster adds, Neuko is the only true community-driven product, hands down. Any new projects wanting to be successful, no shame in copying what Austin and team are doing. Vibes are high, vibes are factual, vibes is Neuko. Had I not experienced some of this for myself, I would probably if I just see this on the time, like, oh, that's they're selling the faux community again. But I know that's not true. I know it is genuine. I know it is authentic. There's also people that like Teacher Katie, who I love and respect, and she's loving this. And she says creating real connections organically. It's like this is really powerful. And we are going to get to some of the tech questions. I wanted to give a few of those shout outs because the chat's blowing up with raving fans, incredible brand ambassadors. And to your point, this is the early innings. Like, so my next question is, we know a token's coming soon. You mentioned in passing, fungible, non-fungible tokens. And this is one of those maybe you're not ready to answer or don't want to answer. Will we see a non-fungible token? Do you envision like an NFT in the future for G-Boy or Neuko?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've said it pretty clearly in my article. So hopefully my co-founders who are in the next room are not going to get mad at me, but we absolutely see a PFP collection. I think how we do that will look different than how they've historically been shipped. We saw just a lot of mistakes from the past few years where we're like, people would raise these massive, mints for millions of dollars, and they were kind of just building their brand in reverse, where now that they've got these pictures, it's like, okay, well, now what? Like, where's the story? where's like the immersive world? And you basically had like sold forward a promise that you then spent the next few years delivering on. And then everyone moved over to fungible tokens and kind of like left their NFTs by the wayside. Obviously, we've seen some great innovations on the strategy side and want to give kudos to the teams that have really leaned in there, like Good Vibes Club, Flog more recently. And I think that's like a good iteration, but I still feel like it's a half step, that there's more work to be done to connect what you're doing on the fungible and non-fungible side. So we have a lot of ideas around that. We're going to be really intentional about when that comes out. We're not in a rush. And then we just have a good sense about, like, because we've created this leaderboard and we have this way of really having a 360 attribution system, we can then really focus on like who should be, first in line to get something like a PFP collection, like who would actually wear it as a piece of status and identity and a sense of belonging. And for the values that a lot of us, that are rocking NFTs right now, really appreciate and stand by. And so, yep, that's a long-winded answer, but absolutely in our plans. Won't commit to any timing, but we know it's important for the community. A lot of people thought we were going to be like initially an NFT project, and the first thing we did release was NFTs. But it's absolutely will be a focus for us.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate you answering. And so basically, I take from there that it sounds like you're going to be launching a 25,000 supply collection at 1 to 3 sold price. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's probably a joke in poor taste. I'm done taking shots. That's the last joke I'll make. I had to get it out. I got rubbed the wrong way by actually like the polar opposite experience from a community this past week, and that's all I'm going to say. But the Good Vibes, the Good Boy, the G-Boy community, the Neuko community, the word refreshing, it comes to mind. Like it's not just bringing back it's not just bringing back 21 vibes. It's refreshing because it's new. My curiosity is piqued. Like even just hearing you describe like your NFT plans, this PFP plans, like I have no doubt it is going to be different. It's probably going to be some sort of mechanics that we've never seen before. That's exciting to me. That's going to get people that are the NFT natives, the crypto natives, like doing things differently, taking big swings, taking shots, like all that's exciting, especially when you have a community that is already a group of diehard brand ambassadors that you can activate, and the way you're even moving them from Telegram to X and like it's exciting. My curiosity genuinely is piqued, and I can't, especially for it's even the fact that I don't even know to call you, like it's not an NFT project. It's just you're a crypto native brand. Like what would you call, like what is the best way to describe what you're building?
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. Crypto native brand we're trying to create storytelling and experiences. I mean, we've been really clear about not wanting to put ourselves and define ourselves into a box. We go after things that we're passionate about, that we feel that we have an unfair advantage in, that we can deliver authentically for our community. And that could look like, something that no one expects from us. Like, and we're totally good with that. So obviously crypto is our home and will always kind of be foundational to how we build. But we take a lot of, I would say, like, experience or inspiration from brands like Mischief, where it's just like they can show up in any different format, but that it's like a Mischief style drop. Those are the type of brands that like we really identify with. So yeah, it'll take a lot of different forms.
I love it, man. I know you got a big day out there. I really appreciate your time this morning, but we got to give the tech at least a highlight before we let you get out of here. Anyone that's listening in, what do they need to know about gboyspecial.com? What do they need to know about the model itself? You heard me reading Von Frunten's rave reviews earlier. Anything specific you want to share that you feel is really different with what you've built here and what everyone should know?
Yeah, so I'm going to assume everyone has at least like a modicum of having experimented with AI, whether it's like using Sora or ChatGPT and creating, the Studio Ghibli moment where everyone was creating stuff. And, those general purpose large language models are really great for single shotting experience, like pieces of content. The challenge that everyone here has experienced is the consistency that you need if you're going to do anything beyond telling like one story, one time, in one format. And so we really set out to create fine-tuned models on our character that we knew that we could time and again allow ourselves and then our community to create with. And so that has really unlocked an insane amount of leverage for us. And when we started the Meme Depot, we were already like an exponential increase in terms of the amount of memes that we were able to create with one person using this AI native workflow from what we saw in the traditional media space before us, and for a fraction of the cost. And then by opening it up to the community, we then had another exponential leap where now the community makes up something like 80 to 90% of all the memes in the Meme Depot. They just crossed 60,000 generations on gboyspecial.com in the span of a couple weeks. So it's allowing, like, co-creation has always been a buzzword that I think like a lot of people are sick of, because they were promised that they would be able to create with the brand, and then they were told, hey, not like that actually, or like go play with your toys over there, like the grown-ups are talking. And we very much, like, by a function also, not only like our ethos, but our size, we're 5 people. Like, we need and want the community to build alongside us. And so, yeah, as it relates to the tech, we custom trained our own models on the image side, allowing people to create within the G-Boy style, but really in any aesthetic. And we've seen some like crazy generations from people that, you know, are far better than some of the stuff we come out with as well. So that's kind of the first step in it. You can also like PFP your existing PFP. And so you see a lot of people with their hoods up. We felt that was super important, just given people do have a sense of identity. They've been here for a while. We wanted them to be able to participate without being like, no, we're stealing you fully, you know, and be able to participate in that way. And then a lot of people just like pressing random. I think it makes up like a third of our generations. If you're like me, I feel like that tool was created for me when I come to like a blank canvas, and there's nothing that's scarier than that. And just being able to hit random and then get inspiration from whatever is brought back to me has been super helpful. So yeah, that's the first iteration of it. We've got more cooking there, and we'll continue to iterate.
Really well done. And also, I mean, on every front, the ability to create. I was flashing through the Meme Depot there. A lot of, I mean, it's super impressive for any brand, let alone one that's been around for a few months. Is that fair? When was actual, like, when did the first, when did the first badges go out?
Oh man, I need to check. But the first post we ever did was October 13th. So it will be exactly 2 months on Saturday.
Really impressive, man. It's again, not just blowing smoke or glazing, but some of these tools to help activate a community. You're ahead of some of these OG brands that launched in 21 that don't have, I don't want to call these basic tools, they're not, but this stuff, you want to proliferate IP, you want to proliferate the brand, you need to give your community some tools and support. And back to the model real quick, I think one of the things that stuck out to me, and I've heard several people say, is the consistency. To be able to to create an image and then add to it or make some slight changes, where my experience with ChatGPT and others has been, you do one thing and you might get it okay, and then you try to make a slight change and it spits out something completely different, or you create an image you love and you want to evolve that or make a new image based off that, and it's like I'm speaking a foreign language. It didn't get it all, and so I think the consistency it really stands out. Is there anything else that you wanted to, I guess, call out in terms of what you think makes your custom model maybe differentiated from some of the others out there?
Yeah, I think one is that we focused on it being open to proliferation. For some strange reason, I think other brands have looked at this as like a holder only benefit. I think the benefit to the brand is in proliferating it overall. And people have asked, like, can we do like free credits or things like that? We're certainly exploring those type of things and talking to potential partners to come on. What's really exciting for me, and this might be like a little bit of giving special sauce away, but we aren't explicitly looking for like partnerships or anything right now, but there's a really interesting novel way of bringing someone into our universe where we can create a fine-tuned model with their IP that works with ours and create a bunch of community content around that. I think it's something that's like pretty exciting for the future. So that was what I would say, like high level. It really is a secret weapon. I expect every brand to try to create something like this. There's obviously like a pretty steep learning curve to actually developing it, which we're still finding. And so we're just going to move as fast with as much momentum as we can and keep developing on top of it.
It's awesome, man. You mentioned small team of 5. Any other team members you want to give a shout out or anything we haven't recognized yet that you'd like to acknowledge or give a shout out to? And then I guess follow-up question to that is anything we haven't asked you about the tech or the box or anything that you were hoping we could talk about today?
Oh man, we'll definitely want to give a shout out to our devs, Dem and Boris, who are respectively in different parts of the world right now and are having to deal with us in a completely different time zone than we normally are. So they're working like madmen. They're in, they were in the Telegram when people were in the Telegram, but they see all the feedback. They're constantly making iterations. They're able to ship so quickly, which gives us, they're incredibly high agency individuals. Which is for anyone who is starting a business, the most important thing is that like we don't have to micromanage. Like they are fully capable and exceptional leaders to just go and build the vision so that we can go and focus on the creative, focus on the partnerships, focus on everything we need to do out here. So it just creates a tremendous amount of leverage, and we would be nowhere without them. They're fantastic founding engineers. Obviously, my co-founders who are literally in the next room cooking. They have not gotten off Eastern Standard Time. They were up until 7 a.m. this morning and then slept until 1. And we'll probably do that the entire time we're here. So we're having very different experiences in Abu Dhabi, as I am the shaking hands and kissing babies type, while they're just being creative masterminds. And so, yeah, I feel really blessed. We have a phenomenal team that I get to come and make fun stuff with every day. And then a community that has really kind of pulled us along together. So nothing else to really cover. I would say just like pay attention, turn notifications on. Participation has always been the alpha. Like we don't make any apologies. Oh, there is one thing I kind of want to talk about that you mentioned earlier, Cap, around when you get to the chance of getting in the community, you realize like how deep it goes and how much people really love it. And we talk a lot about friction being filter, that there is a gap between you see Neuko, you see G-Boy, and you want to take the leap to learn about it. And like, we don't make any apologies for that because we know so much of this space is driven by people that are tourists and they get interested for a day or a week. They buy something, they move on, they speculate, they go on to the next thing. Like if we're going to build something meaningful, the relationships with the brands that we create have to be deep and require work. And so as much effort and love that we're putting into it, it requires that tenfold from the community who want to participate. And I feel incredibly fortunate that a lot of the community have taken onboarding upon themselves, creating just things that you would have to pay so much money for. And we're extremely appreciative for between the wikis, and someone mentioned like groups getting together to solve puzzles together, reaching out to people when they see that they want to be helped along. We'll continue to do more things like this as a way of onboarding and getting people excited and being on the timeline. But it is something I promise you, like if you are thinking about it at all, like I would start honestly, not even with a resource we created, but one the community created at neuko.wiki, and just take a few minutes, watch the videos, get up to speed. Can always DM and would love to have you part of this.
That's awesome. And again, just one more proof point that this community is built different. Someone said 2 months, it feels like it's been 6 or more. And to have this sort of community, like some of those OG communities may have stuff like this. They've been around for years. To be around for 2 months and already have, a wiki like this built from the community. Again, just one other confirming of prior is that this community is moving differently than most. 2 quick questions. I know you got to get out of here, taking you far longer than I was intending. Zombie Rob says one of his favorite parts of the ride has been the puzzle videos. For someone that's the first time they're hearing about these puzzle videos, anything to add to that, or what are these puzzle videos? Is there more to come?
Yeah, we've definitely dug ourselves in a bit of a hole with that because now every time we come out with a piece of content, they immediately are looking for a puzzle. We've had to definitely increase our security across the board as people are just trying to hack into everything, which is honestly a good thing for us. So yeah, we have a bunch of different puzzles. I admittedly am terrible at them, and it's very much Greeny and Squinch are the masterminds behind each of them. And because the community has gotten so good at solving them, we've also had to step up our game. So it's a fun little like cat and mouse. I will say if you're at Breakpoint, you'll start noticing a bunch of like ARG style content throughout the space in the arena that will continue to update throughout the weekend. So definitely be on the lookout for that. There are things to participate in. If you are at home and you are looking to participate, obviously pay attention to our socials and then people that are here as they're posting and talking about it, because a lot of it obviously goes from IRL to URL. So plenty more where that came from.
So on Breakpoint, is there any scheduled talks? Is there anything that if someone's at Breakpoint, anything they should look forward to specifically from you or the team at Breakpoint?
Yeah, so my talk is on Saturday at 4:30 local time.
Okay.
I would be prepared for that, likely to get pushed out even later as conferences go. But yeah, we've got a pretty fun keynote that we're having on main stage. So you can watch that. That's like 7:30 local time EST. So it'll be live streamed on Solana. It'll be recorded if you don't want to wake up that early or you're in a different time zone. But I would say there will be alpha. It will be worth being up for. It will be a moment that you want to be a part of.
It's exciting. Curiosity continues to peak. And for those that want to participate, for those that maybe this is the first time they're hearing about it, specific calls to action. It can like the badges are available on secondary. Someone goes buys a badge this morning and links their account and they send it off. Or as long as they do that before 3, are they still in? Is any?
Yeah.
So if you want to participate, you can go pick up a badge on secondary, send it there, make sure you link your account, you send it that address, follow the steps. Same thing with the box. The primary sale is done with the box, but those can still be purchased on secondary as well, correct?
Correct. And same thing, make sure that you're purchasing it with the same wallet. We only allow for a single wallet to be connected on Gboy Special. If you buy a box with a different wallet, you just need to create another username on Fidgetals with the wallet connected to your badge.
Okay.
You can transfer it over.
Good to know. Awesome, man. Awesome. Truly enjoyed the conversation. Everything I said was genuine from my heart. I'm super impressed. I was late to this. We kind of slept on it for a while. Like, oh, it's just another InfoFi campaign. And it is so much more than that. You know, it's really how you guys are moving, all the intent that's going into this. It's really impressive. It is refreshing. It's bringing back those vibes. My curiosity's really peaked. And outside of some infrastructure like Mega ETH, it's without a doubt, it's the most exciting, the thing I've been most excited for this entire year. I was excited about the Good Vibes Mint back in, I think January, it was earlier this year. And that team has continued to impress me, but they've been few and far between. And I'm not saying this is the major catalyst that brings everyone in, but I will say that's this sort of stuff. It's bringing back the fun. It's doing things differently. It's doing novel new experiments on chain. Maybe that doesn't bring in a net new retail participant immediately, but that's what's going to reactivate those of us that are here, the active participants, the crypto natives. We're looking for something to have fun, and you've laid an incredible foundation, and excited to see where this goes. I'll definitely continue to support and follow along. If there's anything we can do, don't be a stranger. Feel free to reach out. Happy to amplify what you all are building. And I won't be at Breakpoint, but I'll be paying attention this weekend. Looking forward to that alpha. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to share? Any closing words?
Just thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come on and talk about something that we're so passionate about and so excited and having so much fun. I've been in the space for a while. I've never had this much fun. I'm just really enjoying the process with everyone, and we don't take it for granted. We know people are choosing to spend their time with us, their money with us. They're choosing to like make this their home or pay attention to what we're doing, and so we're trying to the best of our ability to give all that energy back to you guys. So thank you. It means the world to us.
I love it, man. Our pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And Von Frutton, I think he's taking a jab, but he said, imagine forgetting how excited we were for AI agents in 2025. Kind of true. I think that was my take at the end of 24. I said AI agents will be to 25, like NFTs were to 21. Probably did carry a little bit over into 25, but that fizzled out as fast as it built up. So no, in all seriousness, really, really appreciate what you're doing. That you've got a lot of fans in all the chats this morning, and we haven't had this sort of excitement and genuine excitement, enthusiasm, and seemingly a community that's really having fun in a long time, and grateful for it. It is. It's our pleasure to have you, because it's bringing back some things that we haven't felt for a while. So enjoy Breakpoint. I hope you and the team get some sleep at some point or another out there. And if there's anything, again, we can do to help along the way, don't be a stranger. We will be more than rooting for you. We'll be participating and following along as best we can, and rooting for this one for sure. So thank you so much. Keep crushing it out there, and send my kudos to the team as well. Really, truly impressive how you are moving. And we need more leaders like this. We need more teams like this that are experimenting on chain, taking some big swings, doing some things differently, and bringing the community along. I think that's the other thing we haven't really said much, is so many of us got excited in 21 about the participatory nature, that we were here at the beginning. We're able to build this IP, build these brands, and feel like we are a part of it. And along the way, that's even from some of the brands that have sustained and are still here, there's just kind of been gotten away from that. And it's more of like, in some cases, more of like business and customer, as opposed to this co-collaboration and co-building. And to your point, a lot of that probably got blown out of water. A lot of buzzwords, a lot of things got overhyped. And but at its core, it does matter. There is excitement around it. And there is a lot of people that want to be brought along for the ride. And from what I can tell, you guys are doing an incredible job of that. So again, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate all you're doing. And this will be the last time we have you. So keep us posted whenever the next major milestone event. We'd love to run this back and have you on again. But there was another news. We'll wrap with this. Austin, again, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Enjoy Breakpoint and everything out there. The last bit of news, I'm not going to name the names. I thought I wasn't going to go there, so I'm going to stick to my word. There was another collection that was minting on Solana this week, and just saw word that they cut their supply. Looks like I think that has a few hours left. If anyone is excited or curious about that one, supply got cut to 8,888 from the 25K that initially was. All 151 of one still in play. Too good to kill. We overshot demand. Course correction is healthy. Characters are essential to the brand. Also said, oh geez, if you missed the registration window, they got you. Reopening that today. More on it soon. So there you go. We'll end it on that note. And as my guy Steve would say, hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.